Well, great morning. Happy Friday the 13th. Oh my goodness. Ready for the day. I spent last night working on my, Sacred Rose to Row. I cut them down, edged them. So now they are mini deck. They will fit in a mini tin. Okay, so I happen to like the mini cards. I did that with my low Scarabeo deck as well. Cut them down, so now it's a mini deck. I don't have a lot of space here to do my readings, and I've got small hands, so I prefer the smaller decks, but a lot of them, you can't find them in the tin size. But most decks, not every single one, but most of them, you can cut down. I did that on my Cosmic Tarot as well, cut those down. Now, it does take a bit of time to do, especially if you want to edge them. And there are only certain markers and things that you can use to edge. Some of them, you have to try it on a part you've cut off first, because some of the markers will bleed. But the ones I found that work the best are the Bic Intensity. These seem to work really good, and you have to edge the cards one at a time, okay? So you're cutting it, rounding the corners, or just squaring the corners, and then you just bend it and you edge each one of them separately, okay? So, now I've got 3 more decks that I worked on. I've got my Low Scarabeo that I cut down, and my Sacred Rose, which I just finished cutting down, and my Cosmic ones. Now, of course, there are some that you never cut down, like your Golden Tarot. It's, edged. It's a lovely deck. You leave it as it is. I did pull out some other decks that I'm going to maybe use here. I've got the Tarot in Wonderland, which I forgot I even have. So I may pull out and do some readings with that. And the Mythic Tarot. I may pull those cards out and do some readings with those. Yeah, I did pull these cards out the other day, and a lot of these I've bought and I haven't really read with them. They've just been put away. They were, older decks that are not in print any longer. And so, but I did like the images here in this Mythic Tarot. Yeah. So I might use this one today. It's a Devil card and the Empress. So, I know it's, a lot of people would have a problem with cutting them down because, especially if they're out of print decks and you want to sell them later, you buy it for an investment. But, I'm using my decks and stuff. So, and for me, I prefer just not to have these big borders. That's just me. So what I'll do with this deck, I don't know. The cardstock is very thin. That's the only thing I don't care for with this deck. Very thin cardstock. So I don't know if I would really go and edge them or not. And I'm not sure if I will cut these down. Although I would prefer them that way. I may wind up cutting them down. I did finally order a one to do the corners, to round them. So I might actually cut this deck down, although this is a pretty big deck, and even when you cut it down, it's going to be like a regular, normal size card, because these are a little large. But I just wish it was the Mythic Tarot. I wish it were on a bit heavier cardstock. Yeah. But 9 out of 10, I may cut them down. Just because they are, easier for me to work with. Although for resale purposes, it's not something you really want to do, because you're going to lose a lot of the resale value on it. So let me pull some cards and just see what is the overall energy for today, for Friday the 13th. Let's look and see. Okay, there are a lot of people discussing things, maybe not so thrilled with a lot of stuff that's going on now. Politically, we've got all the crazy stuff happening. Going into it, okay, things are moving forward. We've got some things maybe coming in pretty quickly. The challenge is, things they're going to be struggled with. Trying to figure what to move on, what not to move on. So things are in the midst of change. We're looking at what's been gathered and collected, what's coming down the pike, what they're going to be offering out there today. Something maybe new is coming in that they're going to be offering that we're not going to be so thrilled about. Something coming in the news, which we're going to want to, again, move on. Yeah, new investigation. Okay, so something's coming down the pike today. New information, new investigation. Probably more brouhaha on the Biden versus Trump and the documents. So when it comes to Trump, it's all well and good, but he's president with a Biden. Well, he's vice president, and it's horrible, and there are consequences. Yeah, so it looks like we have something new is going to come out, some new message concerning it, looking at possible actions, trying to figure it out, feeling tied up, okay? And I think this is the mental restriction of the Republicans, with trying to find a way to spin this and, of course, make Trump look like the choir boy. And Biden's the demon incarnate, the devil incarnate with what he's done. Okay, so we have a bit of the Pandora's box. The lid is off of that. And again, they're just looking for any new opportunity that they can find. When it comes to past dealings, that they can get out there and put out some new message, new mental drama that they've got going. Another way to try to spin things, juggling it, spinning it. which is, of course, their thing, the devilish stuff that they do, the dark things about how they're going to move and they're going to take action and it's going to be strong, okay? Wanting to, shed stuff on the action concerning White House. This is usually the White House, but now it's like, well, we've got Biden in our grips, we're surrounding him, and we are, yeah. Oh, mercy. So talking about some, looking at possible actions that they want to say they're going to take, etc. Okay. Maybe some of their committees they're forming, like Jim Jordan, the brouhaha, because the next card is out of their dark things and their ideations that they're doing, saying it's all an abuse of power, and that's what they wanted to work on. Because why? This stuff is coming down and they're having nightmare scenarios because they are guilty, insurrectionists, etc. So they are trying to play Wheel of Fortune, okay? And trying to skew it, trying to skew all this stuff. So we'll have to see what happens. I like these cards, I haven't used them before, but I kind of like them. Although some of them are different, like the card that's usually for the White House. You don't get as much of that feeling in this deck as you do with other decks. So we'll have to see what happens. But energy today, there's looks to be more brouhaha on that, and part some of their special committees, etc., may be coming down today. So anyway, oh my goodness. Just craziness. What do you think? Cut them down or leave them as is? Open to suggestions, okay? And what do you do with your cards? Do you cut them down or do you leave them as they are? Like I said, I've got small hands and sometimes working with some of these bigger decks. I guess it's good to have it if it's not really clear on the imagery what it is. Okay, some decks the imagery is clear that that that's a Queen of Pentacles. Okay, if you worked with them long enough and it's like a Rider-Waite type style, usually you can tell what it is. Okay, in some decks it may be a little difficult to tell what it is, and then in that case you wouldn't want to cut them down if you don't know what it is. Some of these decks are pretty easy to tell. This card was not as easy to tell at first. Is it Judgment? Is it what? No, it's the Lover's card. Okay, it's a Lover's card. So if you're gonna cut your decks down, make sure you go through and you know which cards are what, because some decks, they're easy to tell, and other decks, they're not quite so easy. Okay. Now, it may not matter so much if you do, like I do, read it intuitively rather than a standard one-size-fits-all meaning for all of the cards. So anyway, energy of the day. Oh no. Oh no. We've got cry, we've got gagging, and we've got animal. Now there is an animal that's loose in Dallas, a snow leopard. And I'm hoping that some fool does not play great white hunter out there and kill this animal, or take it for a trophy or whatever insanity they're going to do. So hopefully they find this animal and he's okay. But it could be also this animalistic brouhaha of the uber right. We're going to be gagging on and wanting to cry looking at the crapus that they're trying to pull today. Oh my goodness. So how many of you out there are superstitious? I'm not. Okay. Friday the 13th is just another day. Okay. If you look at a 13, it's actually a 4 number, which is stability and balance. Okay. So if you take away the fear-mongering out of it, you have a day of stability and balance. So better to hold to that than the fear-mongering, okay, which people hold to. These, when you go into superstitious stuff, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. You're setting yourself up. So don't do that. Don't set yourself up. Oh my goodness. Just out on the internet, you see a lot of crazy stuff out there. But anyway, don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow is Hogali Day. So definitely tune in for that. We all want to give kudos to Lena for her time on the Mary Trump show. That was great. And it looks like Mary Trump will have her back again. And so looking forward to that. It sounded like she was quite complimentary to Lena and said she is now a nerd avenger. So, wishing many of us were nerd avengers, and had the opportunity to do that. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it really went well because we have the King of Cups, which is my thing for Democratic or Biden. We have going into it those that are supportive, the lovers, and the challenges, the hang up, looking at the stuff that's coming in, which is what they do on the Mary Trump show, to counter the repugly ugly agendas and things. So again, between the lovers and the Democratic thing, it was a strong showing. Okay. And the Democrats and overturning the repugly ugly agenda, this is what's being worked on. Okay. And the foundation is, they were all in alignment and coming together on the same page with this emotionally, okay? Talking about the things that they weren't so thrilled with stuff, okay? And having a strong opinion, okay? So cards are saying that Mary Trump really liked what Lena had to say, that she was of value to the program, and she is a nerd avenger. So all good, all good. So on that note, I'm going to leave this here. I have my cup of coffee this morning. So all of that's good, and we'll see you online. If there's a reading you want to see done, don't forget to put it in the description, in the comments section. If you want to have a private read, the information, you send me an email, we figure out the time zone, and I send you the link a half an hour before your reading is ready to begin. I will record it if you prefer, and then upload it to YouTube and send you a private URL so you can review it again at your leisure. So thanks for tuning in. You know, I'm thinking about maybe trying to do a few more lives on the fly, you know, and if you see it live, jump on there and we can do mini reads and stuff like that. So anyway, have a great Friday the 13th, and I'll see you online.